Imagine this. You work hard, you pay your taxes, you trust that the money you put in will come back to you through better schools, safer roads, stronger hospitals, but instead you open the news and discover that those funds have vanished. Not through accident, not through bad luck, but siphoned off into the pockets of politicians, oligarchs, and lobbyists. That's not a movie plot, that's Europe today. And the shocking part, the corruption here isn't even hidden. It's heavy-handed, it's right in front of us. Let me give you a few examples. Take Hungary. In 2022, the European Union froze more than 6 billion in funds. Why? Because companies linked to Prime Minister Viktor Orban's allies kept winning EU-financed tenders over and over again. It wasn't subtle favoritism, it was a system designed to funnel money from European taxpayers into the hands of the politically connected. Or think about Greece. Before the 2009 financial crisis, corruption was rampant. Politicians handing out government jobs for votes, tax evasion by the wealthy ignored, budgets massaged to look better than they were. By the time the truth came out, the entire economy collapsed. Ordinary Greeks lost jobs, pensions, dignity, and the political class that helped cause it, many walked away untouched. And corruption doesn't stop at national borders. At the European level, we have Brussels home to more than 25,000 lobbyists. Now, lobbying isn't illegal, but when influence becomes invisible, it becomes dangerous. Remember Qatargate in 2022? Members of the European Parliament accused of literally taking bags of cash from Qatar and Morocco to soften Europe's stance on human rights. That is not democracy. That is democracy for sale. The European Union estimates it loses 120 billion every year to corruption. Let's pause on that. That's enough to build 1,200 state-of-the-art hospitals, or to fund solar power for every home in Europe, or to provide free university education to millions of young people. Instead, that money vanishes. But the cost isn't just financial, it erodes trust. A 2023 Eurobarometer survey found that 68% of Europeans believe corruption is widespread in their country. It undermines democracy. When people see elites enrich themselves while citizens struggle, they stop believing in institutions, they stop voting, they turn to extremists, and it weakens security. Russia, for example, has exploited corrupt networks in Bulgaria, Slovakia, and beyond, buying influence, sowing division, undermining EU unity. Corruption doesn't just waste money, it weakens Europe's very foundations. So why is corruption in Europe so heavy-handed? Centralized power in the hands of political elites, complex EU bureaucracy where billions move with limited oversight, weak enforcement, anti-corruption agencies often lack independence or teeth, and perhaps most dangerous, cultural tolerance. In some places, corruption is shrugged off as just the way it works. The result, corruption isn't whispered about, it's shouted from the rooftops. It's so blatant that ordinary citizens see it but often feel powerless to change it. But here's the good news. Corruption is not inevitable. It's man-made. And what's man-made can be unmade. One, strengthen institutions. Look at Romania. Its National Anti-Corruption Directorate prosecuted mayors, ministers, even former prime ministers. No one was untouchable. Imagine if every EU country had that kind of independence. 2. Shine a light on the money. Estonia has pioneered digital governance where procurement contracts are published online and visible to every citizen. Transparency kills corruption. If Estonia can do it, why can't Europe as a whole? 3. Protect the truth tellers. Journalists and whistleblowers are Europe's front line. Think of Jan Kuciak in Slovakia, murdered in 2018 for exposing political corruption. That must never happen again. Journalists need protection, funding, and respect for change the culture. We must stop saying that's That's just how it is. We can teach civic responsibility in schools, we can celebrate public servants who act with integrity, and we can refuse to normalize corruption in our conversations. So here's the point. Corruption in Europe is not hiding. It's heavy-handed, visible, and destructive, but it doesn't have to define us. Imagine if those billions lost to corruption were used for innovation, green energy, or education. Imagine if every citizen trusted their leaders because integrity was the norm, not the exception. Imagine a Europe whose greatest export wasn't luxury cars or wine, but trust. That future is possible, but it will not come by itself. It comes if we demand accountability. If we refuse to stay silent, if we insist that democracy is not for sale to the highest bidder or to the loudest lobbyist, because corruption is man-made, and what is man-made can be unmade. The heavy hand of corruption can be replaced by the steady hand of integrity. The choice is ours. Thank you. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you can.